Hello everyone and welcome back to the Synergy Sanctum. My name is Justin. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here at the Synergy Sanctum, we specialize in all things related to Magic the Gathering, with a specific focus on deck building. So I aim to show you very quick deck techs that'll show you all of the cards in the deck and how they work together to ultimately achieve the goals of that deck. If you're not already, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. And we also have a sister channel now, so head on over to Commander Coliseum and check out their content as well. And for today's deck tech, we have a throwback all the way to the Kaldheim set with Jorn, God of Winter. An EDH Snow Tribal Focus deck on a very low budget as well. And this deck is super powerful and really goes into this theme of freezing everything and it's snowing and it being winter and stopping your opponents from doing things. Just really broken here. So Jorn, God of Winter, the deck is focused around the creature's ability, not necessarily the artifacts. So whenever Jorn attacks, you're going to untap each snow permanent you control, and we've got a ton of them. So this deck is aiming to protect Jorn to keep doing this ability, as well as getting added value off of all of these snow things benefiting off of each other. And current TCG market value is only $66 to $87, and we are running 34 lands, with 19 of those being snow-covered basics between the three colors, and then 15 of those being non-basics, but also a lot of snow lands there as well. So let's get into it. Let's see what we're going to be untapping and benefiting with Jorn here when he attacks. So, to start us off, we are running Spirit of Aldegard, Sculptor of Winter, and Rime Tender. They are all snow creatures. They are kind of our ramp ones here. So the Spirit's getting us a land, and the Sculptor of Winter and Rime Tender are giving you additional mana. Pilfering Hawk's letting you draw. All-Rain Viper's letting you draw off a combat damage for itself. All-Rain Frostfane's letting everybody draw that goes through and giving them all Death Touch. Priest of the Haunted Edge is removal. Replicating Rain is giving you a bunch of mana. Rime Transfusion would go on Jorn to basically make him unblockable unless it's a snow creature, which is very unlikely. And then Rime Feather Owl is basically turning things into snow permanents and then getting big based off of the number in play. So if you don't already have a snow permanent, you can put it on that. Otherwise, you could put it on other things. And then we're running Narfi, Betrayer King. Very strong card here. He boosts everybody else, and then you can return him from the graveyard to the battlefield. Morit of the Frost can become a copy of something. Icebreaker Kraken, super broken. It costs one less for each snowland too, so you could potentially do this for 2 blue. But when it enters, it freezes everything on your opponent's board, doesn't let him untap, and then you can return 3 lands to bring him back. And then Hailstorm Valkyrie is getting boosted off of Snowlands going into it and has Flying and Trample. Frost Augur is letting you look at the top card. If it's snow, you get to put it in your hand, which it most likely will be. Ascendant Spirit's got a ton of benefits and just keeps getting bigger off of how much snow mana you put into it. Murray Lage's Slumber turns into that 2020 indestructible flyer eventually, and at 2 mana, very strong here, but if you have 10 or more snow permanents, it immediately transforms, so that's going to happen really quickly in this deck. Into the North lets you get a specific snowland. Icefang Conal is letting you draw. Grim Draugr is gaining menace for the turn. Abominable Tree Folk is equal to the number of snows you have, and then when it enters, it freezes something. Glacial Revelations, letting you look at the top 6 cards. Any number of snow stuff goes to your hand. So again, everything snows is going to be really good value at 3 mana. And then we got more snow stuff with Draug Necromancer. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, you exile it, and then you can cast spells that are exiled with ice counters. Dead of Winter is our board wipe, because our snow stuff will survive the chill of winter. Chilling Shade's getting bigger and has flying. Conifer Worm says that it gets bigger until end of turn, equal to the number of snow permanents, and you can stack that. Cold Steel Heart is a snow artifact, so it's going to untap, get you more mana. Chiller Pillar, super fun to say, but it gets flying as long as you pay the 6 to make it monstrous. Won't be a big deal. We're getting double mana every turn with Jorn.
Boreal Outrider says when you cast a creature spell, it's getting that creature's coming in bigger. Boreal Druids, more mana. Blizzard Spectre, off of combat damage, you get to choose to either bounce something or make them discard. Blizzard Brawl is having the creatures fight, but yours is indestructible. Blood on the Snow is destroying everything, but letting you return something based off of how much snow you spent. So you're going to get to return something 6 or less, which would probably be Jorn. And then Avalanche Caller is turning your lands into creatures. This is just getting crazy. And then we're running more snow stuff in the deck with our lands. So these are the snow lands outside of the basics. So we are running Dark Depths to make that 2020 again. Shimmerdrift Veil, Scrying Sheets, Mouth of Ronan, they all have specific abilities that are pretty solid, but they're also snowlands, so they will untap with Jorn. We're running the duels that came in Kaldheim, as well as Faceless Haven. Faceless Haven can become a 4/3 creature for the turn. Frostwalk Bastion can also become a creature, and then Frost March is our old one from, I think that's Cold Snap, also a snowland. And then here's the other strategy with this deck. So basically freezing out your opponents and running kind of a stacked strategy to have them deal with the chill. And we even have a card called Winter's Chill, which is basically going to freeze stuff out. Stasis, so mean in this deck, but keeps stuff tapped. Sleep taps all the creatures. Winter's Rest chooses a specific creature. Rising Water is an enchantment that says lands don't untap, but they will for us with Jorn, so we're not worried about it. Misstep is a spell that keeps their creatures tapped. Icebind Pillars, repeatable freezing. Icy Blast, you pay into X for how much stuff you want to freeze. Mist of Stagnation says that permanents don't untap, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they can untap a permanent for each card in their graveyard. So more freezing there. Hilda's Crown of Winter from the Eldraine set lets you freeze stuff as well, and then you can sack it for draw. And then even more freezing in the deck, Frozen Ethers, making everything come into play tapped for your opponents. Frost Titan is a freezing giant here, so when he answers or attacks, he can tap a permanent. It doesn't untap during their next phase. Fade Away says for each creature, that creature's controller can pay 1 or they gotta sack a permanent. So doing this on your turn is pretty brutal to everybody. And then Exhaustion says creatures and lands that a specific person controls will not untap. So you can kind of target who's going to get frozen for the turn. And then other good stuff in the deck. So we're running Vorpal Sword, which is kind of like our win con. So Vorpal Sword for 8 mana. If that creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses. So Jorn's ability is off of the attack trigger. So you could immediately untap your 8 lands, pay it into Vorpal Sword, and win. Villainous Wealth is another backup here. We're going to be making a lot of mana, so we can just take stuff from everybody else. Soul Rain is our mana rock. Archetype of Imagination's making everything flying on our end and removing flying from everyone else, so it's protecting Jorn. Wilderness Reclamation's even more untapping. Polymorphous Jest to turn them into frogs. Nature's Claim, Assassin's Trophy is targeted removal. We got a counterspell and negate to counter spells. And then Cultivate and Farseek are our ramp cards to go and find lands. And then finally, the draw on the deck. So Underworld Connections being on a snow land is really solid because Jorn's going to untap it. So you're going to get 2 draws off of that land for the turn. Blessings of Frost is giving counters among any number of creatures you control, where X is the amount of snow spent. So you're going to get 4 counters to distribute, and then however many 4 or more powers you have after that, you're going to draw. Toski is also in here to benefit off of the draws, same with like the All-Rain Frostfane from earlier. So when a creature deals combat damage, you're drawing. And then we're running Brainstorm, of course, and we're running Graven Lore, which is a snow instant. So you scry X, where X is the amount of snow spent to cast the spell, and then you draw 3 cards. So you could potentially, you are going to scry 5, and then you're going to draw 3 cards after that.
And with that, our show has come to an end. Thank you so much for watching our video, and if you enjoyed that video, feel free to share it out with any friends who might find value in it as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. We hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.